Are your Google reviews for your childcare center helping or hurting your enrollments? Because chances are, if you are getting good, consistent reviews, then they're helping. But if you haven't gotten reviews in a while, or you've got, negative reviews, a few negative reviews, you're not replying to them, then chances are they could actively be hurting your enrollments. And so my name is Brooks Burnett from ClearPath Childcare Marketing. And in today's quick lesson, we are going to talk about Google reviews for your preschool and childcare center. And so we have to understand here that Google reviews are extremely important. And so, but why are they so important? Well, because around 80% of people that, or parents rather, that come to Google looking for your services, looking for a preschool or a daycare facility, they are reading the reviews and they find you on your Google business profile. So, on the Google Maps section to be exact. And so, reviews are extremely important for you even coming up. So not to mention what people read and how they interact with them. And so but they are one of the most important factors when it comes to ranking one business over another on the front page of Google. So Google factors in your review count. The parents factor in the review count. They factor in the quality of the reviews, how many you have, and all those other things. And so and then on top of that, they are extremely trustworthy because Google protects their reviews, like we'll talk about here in a little bit. They don't just go and take down reviews just because everyone asks for them to be taken down. Google values their reviews, and so parents value the reviews as well. And so why in particular does it matter for our industry, for the preschool and daycare industry? Well, because parents are making multiple decisions about your center all at the same time. So they're looking for, tuition. They're looking for, the proximity to their home or work. They're looking for, the safety of their child. They're looking for the state of the facility, so that I guess that plays into the safety as well. And so the reviews are an easy way to get a lot of information from other parents. Okay. And so they carry more emotional weight than really, maybe doctors, maybe some people in the medical field, maybe that carries a little bit more weight potentially or on a similar plane. But, these are parents that are really trying to make, in most cases, a decision that they think will benefit their child. And so the reviews are absolutely crucial. And so we have to do everything necessary to get those reviews and then build the reviews and reply to them. And so a handful of well-written reviews can outweigh years of word of mouth reputation. Why? Because you can do a lot more with those Google reviews. You can post them on your website, post them on social media. You can share them. You can put them on your on videos. You can have pages on your website that are all about your Google reviews. And so they're easy, they're quick, and they're trustworthy. So that's why we have to be diligent with getting the reviews and then doing everything we can to manage the reviews. And so like we already talked about, they help with the local visibility, with tours and enrollment, word of mouth outreach. Positive reviews can just help boost what people are already saying. If they get a recommendation from someone, if a parent gets a recommendation from like a friend or something, and then they look up your facility and you've got two reviews, one of them being 3 stars, then they're not going to feel very good. They're not going to feel very confident, as opposed to having multiple reviews that are of good quality. And so we kind of already touched on that. Now, here's an interesting point here. So we're not even looking at below 4 stars. Okay, so the range to get is anywhere from to make sure that you have your reviews be at a range of obviously 4.5 or higher. So the 4.5, the star average star rating is just an average of all of your Google reviews. And so the more negative reviews you have, 1 and 2 star or even 3 star, that's going to excuse me, negatively impact your um, review count or your overall review score. And so your review score is a quick way to determine for parents, just the overall feel of your business. Okay. And so that's why they're so, so important because pictures worth a thousand words. The saying goes. Well, a review or your Google reviews are worth a thousand words, or even more potentially. And so anything below a 4 stars is cause for concern. Okay, so cause for concern. So we're going to take a look at some examples and I'm going to give you some strategies of what to do when you have negative reviews. And so, but the goal is obviously 4 or 5 stars, 5 stars, or at the least a 4 star review. And so, something interesting is that if you have multiple 4.5 stars, or in that range of 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, if you have multiple reviews in that range, that actually is better performing than a small amount of reviews that are 5 stars. And the reason for that is because parents and people know and understand that review or that companies are made out of people. And so no, you're not going to please everyone. You're not going to do everything right the first time. You're not going to you're going to stumble here and there. And so people expect to see, you know 4.8, 4.9, like they expect to see that nowadays. And so don't feel like if you have 60 reviews that are all 5 stars and you get one that's a 4 star, that the world is going to end. It's not. It's most likely not even going to change down to 4.9. It will stay at 5 stars. And so, but just the point is that, the goal range is 4.5 to 5 stars total accumulative, review rating. And so what do we do about negative reviews? And so some of the strategies here really depend on the nature of the review. So a couple of things you can do. Number one, you can, well, let's see here. Let's see what I have here. All right, so let's see. So what you're going to do anytime you get a negative review, 3, 4, or 3, 2, or 1, see if it is a legitimate review. So there's companies out there, there's people out there, disgruntled, former employees, people who maybe called your center and then you didn't answer the phone, so they got mad and went and left a 1 star review. I've seen it. I've seen tons of things. And so check and see if it is a legitimate review. If it is not, then you can request that that the review be taken down by Google. Google is the only one that can take the reviews down. Google or the person who wrote the review. So that's another thing that we'll have to remember. And so reach out to Google. There's a request review button. I can't remember the exact wording, but there's a button right there. So ask Google if they will take it down and plead your case. So if it is a fake review, if it's a disgruntled employee, tell them that. Say, hey, this is an old employee that we had to let go, and they're just mad, and whatever that case may be. But tell Google, tell them, and so that's what we want to see. If it's a disgruntled employee or spam or not legitimate, ask Google. Most of the time, they will take it down. They will take it down most of the time. Now, if it is a legitimate review, okay, if it's, someone who might be angry, or if it's a legitimate review, you need to reach out to them personally, reach out to them and ask them to take it down. Do whatever is necessary to get them to take it down. If they, you can apologize, you can say, hey, we will, you know, uh, childcare is a little bit different than like home services. With home services, you can come out and say, oh, well, we'll come out and fix your property, fix your thing, fix the thing we broke or whatever. But here it's a little bit different. So you might have to think a little bit about what to say or what to do in that case. But ultimately, if they do not take the review down, what I want you to do is to reply to the review. So you should be replying to the reviews no matter what. So if it's a positive review, thank the person for the review and let them know that you enjoyed working with them and working with their child and you had a great time. And so reply to all of the reviews. But when it's a negative review, do not argue or don't reply. don't don't not reply. Um and then don't cuss them out. I understand it's frustrating. Believe me, I understand that it's frustrating to get negative reviews, but you have to stay professional. Okay. You have to stay professional because parents read the reviews. They read them. If there's a filter, we all know this, or hopefully you know this, on Google, when you go to the review section, there is a filter where you can click on a button and say lowest reviews or, lowest to highest. And so it will show all of your negative reviews. A lot of people click on those. A lot of people click through to read your negative reviews. So if they see a disgruntled parent or something coming through, and if you didn't do anything wrong, even if you did do something wrong, and they say what happened, or they say what their side of the story, and you reply to it being professional, acknowledging their concern, giving a detailed response and saying, I apologize, you know, we messed up here, or, give as much detail as you feel comfortable with, but then asking them, give us a call, or asking them to reach out to you to fix the situation is going to do a lot. Okay, because parents want to see, they know that people are disgruntled. They know that some people do not want to, you know they know that some people do not want to, you know uh just you can't please everyone. And so they understand that. And so they understand that if they see you coming at that person being argumentative, and cussing at them or saying something, uh just being angry and all that, then that reflects your company. Okay, that reflects your company, and they're not going to be as apt to reply, or they're not going to be as eager to reach out as if they see, oh, okay, well, this person, they did yada yada yada, and so they fixed it, the situation's over. And so another point is that what's good about Google reviews is they can reply, or they can leave a comment, and then you can reply, and that's it. So basically, they say what happened, you have the opportunity to get the last word in. And so you can say, I'm sorry this happened, but this was a mistake because this happened actually, or you're not being argumentative, but you're just stating what the facts are if something's wrong, and all that. And so, but that's it. They cannot reply and say, no, you didn't say that, blah blah blah. You have the last word. Okay. And so, this last point here on the don't section, this is very important. Write the apology for the reviewer instead of so you're writing the reply with the idea in mind. I read that wrong. You're you're writing the review with the idea that, hey, people are going to read this. Okay. And this is kind of worded wrong, but you want to write the review as if you are, as if it's like on TV or something, and parents are watching your response and you're responding to that person. So just be professional. Just be professional. And maybe they'll take it down. Maybe they won't, but that's what happens. Um, and so again, you're going to reply to every review already. So just be personal, You can copy and paste review, if it's a simple message, thank you for the review, let us know if you need anything in the future, that's always a good, just easy response. But add personality when it's there, because Google does value that. And so another point here on the negative reviews, another option here is just to bury it, get more good reviews. So if you have, if you went through a stretch early in your business, and we all go through those, where there's, a few negative reviews, and you have like 20 and like 4 of them are bad, then just get more good reviews. Just bury it. Ask every single parent that you have to leave you a review. Give some kind of incentive. Just do whatever you can to get as many reviews as possible, because it's going to help you in more ways than one. It's going to help you in more ways, like we went over. It's going to do more for you than just helping your reputation score. It's going to help with your ranking. They help with your advertisements as well. If you are running ads, they help with your ads. And so some key takeaways here is that Google reviews are really, really one of the first things that parents notice about your reviews, or excuse me, about your company. And so they have to be good. They need to be good. If a rating is below 4.3, then that can really actually cost you tours. And then if it's below 4 stars, then parents are starting to look elsewhere. That's a bad sign. If your reviews are below 4 stars, you got to get a lot of reviews to get that score up. And so respond fast, respond with empathy, just be professional. Just be professional, because ultimately, who knows? Maybe that person was having a bad day. Maybe they, maybe they're mistaken and they read the situation wrong, or read what you misunderstood what you were saying. Maybe they were having a bad day. So don't take it personal, and just reach out, try to get them to take it down. And if not, just reply to the review. Just reply and bury it. Okay. So I hope this was beneficial for you guys. Learn more at clearpathchildcaremarketing.com. If you need help getting reviews, we help with this. And that's one of the services that we provide. And so is review management. And so, but this is something that's on you. Okay. Reviews are largely, like, we can do what we can to help you get reviews. We can print out postcards, and we can print out, things to help to have at your front desk where people can leave reviews. But ultimately, they're on you to get and do the service, or to do the service, that warrants a 5-star review. And so, if that's not the case, then asking for reviews is not a good idea. And so that's why Google values them so much, because they are on the customer, or excuse me, they are on the business, to do the service. And so that's why they're so important. So thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Let me know if y'all have any questions or comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.